What's up, good people? Hello, and how you doing? It's Larry Jones. Welcome to Stock Up with Larry Jones. And I want to talk today about Bitcoin mining companies. I'm going to tell you what I'm selling and why, but also what I'm buying. And I think that this is going to be interesting. Like Stock Mo always say, stick around. I think you're going to like what I got for you. A little steal from my brother Stockmo. Let's talk about what's going on today. First of all, for those of you that know, I'm an influencer for Webull. It's a great trading platform. There's a link below. I want you to go ahead and click the link, deposit $100. You could trade 3.5 hours before the market close, all during the market, and 4 hours after it closes. 3.5 before it opens and 4 after it closes. By depositing $100, you qualify to win up to, you will get 2 free stock, but up to $1,850, right? Let's talk about what I'm doing right off the bat. What I'm going to say is very unpopular. It's going to be unpopular, but I'm going to challenge you guys, right? So this right here, this is my book of disciplines. I just upgraded it, my book of disciplines. And I encourage everyone to get a book if you want to be a better trader and write down all of your mistakes. Every year I look at what have I learned, because the stock market is a moving beast. It never just stays exactly the same. That's why we have bear markets and bull markets. I'm going to make a bold statement right now. I sold all of my Bitcoin mining companies, right? And they weren't all green. So for those of you that's been following me, you know where I showed you where I sold. I showed you guys where I was taking profits on Mara and RIOT. Those are especially Mara. I made a ton of money. I was up. And I know some of you guys are going to say, well, where should I sell it at? It all depends on where you bought it at. All right. Now, I don't see imminent danger for any of these two stocks. I don't, right? I really don't. But I'm going to share with you the reason why I sold them and what I bought with it. For those of you that's been following me since last year, you know I took $2,400, my wife's stimulus check and my stimulus check, and I turned it into $43,000, right? Turned it into about $10,000 with low cap stock. That was under $5. That would be known as penny stock. But then I also moved into Bitcoin mining companies, not real Bitcoin, just the Bitcoin mining companies like Mara. Got some at $4.50, got some at $1, and look at it today. And so I literally, without putting another dime in there, got that up to $43,000. So now I'm good playing with the house's money, as you guys know. What I just did is, for those of you before the Coinbase IPO, remember I showed you, I said, hey, you should be doing some profit. I sold all my Mara. I was up, hundreds of percents. Like I was up, over 1,000% on Mara on some of my buys. And then I dollar cost average up, right? So I was really good. And I don't care if you're up 50% at this point. I look at the likelihood of growth from where it is now. Now, there is some negativity following Bitcoin mining companies, and that is the way that they're mined, that they're taking up a lot of electricity. That does concern me a little bit. The only Bitcoin mining company that I'm holding is SOS for 2 reasons. They have cheap electricity. They are the most beat down, shorted. We want every bad news to come against this Chinese company that doesn't exist. Short report. Anything that could happen to SOS has happened to SOS. And I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you the truth. The main reason why I'm holding SOS is because it's beat down too far. I'm down 28% on that. but it was my smallest positions. I didn't have nowhere near as much SOS as I had RIOT and Bitcoin. My biggest position was RIOT and then and then Mara second, I'm sorry. And so I just sold all of my RIOT and I sold it for a profit. But I showed you guys, and it wasn't that I was a genius. Before the IPO of Coinbase, I didn't know what it was going to do. I said, hey, if you're frothy on it, do some profit taking. And some people were like, but it's running. It's running. I'm going to ask you to do something right now. I'm going to ask you to put this video on pause, leave it, pull up another window, and I want you to Google, what does Wall Street call retail investors' money? All right? What does Wall Street call retail investors' money? Okay? I'm going to give you the answer. Dumb money. But I want you to see it for yourself, because seeing is believing it. Dumb money. And the reason why they call it dumb money is because it's a lot of emotional buying. We generally chase green when we find out a stock is hot, right? And then when it's selling off, when you see red, you sell. And you're doing the polar opposite of what you should be doing. You should be buying stock when it's red and selling when it's green. Every time you sell a stock, someone's buying it. Every time you're buying a stock, someone's selling it. So here's what I did. Now remember, I'm not your financial advisor, neither do I play one on TV. You should only invest in stuff that you do your own research on, okay? I had another small penny mining company that I sold because I didn't like the direction that it was going in. And I only had a few shares, so it wasn't that big. But I'm out of all. So you say, well, what about this one? Well, what about Hive? Well, I am out of them all. The only position I have is actually half of my SOS. I sold some and I rolled it all over into Cardano, which the ticker symbol is ADA, and it could be purchased on the Coinbase app. Now, there's a link below that I'm providing to the Coinbase app. Click that link, download the Coinbase app. There again, it's always a deposit $100. And if you watch some of the tutorials, they're going to give you some free Bitcoin. And here's why I put it into Cardano. The ticker symbol is ADA. I also bought some Ethereum that I like, and I bought a little Decentraland. Those are the three, but I am 80% in Cardano. Now, that's kind of gambling, and I will agree with that. And I tell you guys not to do that. I also say, even now, that Bitcoin, personally, I would not have Bitcoin more than 20, 25%, but I'm keeping my Bitcoin at 20% of my entire investing portfolio. So I would never get more than 20%, 25%. Though Bitcoin is doing a run right now, 25%. For those of you that's just in Bitcoin, I just don't think that that's wise. That's me personally. Okay. But I would tell you that I can't lose, because what I did was I took the $2,400 back out. So I'm playing with the house's money. So this is my play. I can afford to lose money. This is not anything that's costing me anything. So I want to be clear. That's why I'm doing it. But I do believe in Cardano and ticker symbol ADA. I believe in it heavily. And if you look, most analysts think that Cardano will soon be within the next year to year and a half. They think that it will be $10. I'm thinking $7. And if you look at it, it's under $1.50. And if I can get $7 out of a stock, then I'm gonna move in that direction. Now, here's why I sold my SOS, a part of it, at a loss. Because of this. Now, I believe that over a period of time, SOS will come back. And I believe for those of you that are just flat in Mara and RIOT, I'm saying to you that I believe that those are going to come back. But what I wrote down in my disciplines, book of disciplines, is this. Sometimes we get emotionally attached, and if we're red on a stock, we feel like we have to just make all of the money on that stock. Okay, so overwhelmingly, I'm positive on my Bitcoin mining stock. I want to be clear about that. Overwhelmingly, remember, $2,400 into $43,000, and then I lost about 5,000-ish during the correction. So I'm winning. So I'm not telling you to lock in losses. But what I'm saying to you is that if I see the potential to make those type of gains in Cardano and Ethereum, which those are the two that I'm the most bullish on in Bitcoin, then I'm going to take a stock that I'm flat on or down by 20%, and I'm going to move it over there and I'm going to make my money back. So what I do is I keep my portfolios separate. Okay. I keep my Bitcoin portfolios in one place, and I keep my high growth stock in another place. That's what I use the Webull app for. And you do what works for you. I suggest that to you because it causes you to be a better trader. You can clearly see what's going on. I mean, I have over 29 positions, and sometimes it gets hard to manage. But if you know where to go for what stock and for what segment, then it actually makes it better. So for those of you that don't have the Webull, I suggest that you click the link below and get the Webull. All right. Not just because it's helping the page out, because it's going to help you out. But now I'm in Cardano and Ethereum because I see room for those to grow. What this message is about not being emotionally attached to one stock. The old country song, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run, right? And so there is some instances where you have to fold them and run. Here, I'm folding them and I'm running, but I'm running to greener pastures. And so that's what Larry is doing. I'm not suggesting that you do this, but that's what I'm doing. And here's the only reason why I'm making this video. I could have just did that and not said anything. But here's the only reason why I'm making this video. I don't want Ethereum and Cardano to take off and I make 300, 400%. And I never mentioned it to you guys. So I'm going to mention it now. And if it falls, then I'm putting it out there. If Bitcoin tanks and lose 50% of its profit, then, and Bitcoin is riskier to me than stock. I'm going to put that out there. Bitcoin will have these highs and then they drop. So if you don't like volatility, do not get into Bitcoin. But there's a saying in Bitcoin, show me a new high, I'll show you a new buy, because Bitcoin will do these drops, but then it'll run again. And you just have to be patient. So if you're not patient, don't do it. But if you're patient like me and you see next year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, then I just want you to look at it. Okay. So that's why I'm saying this. I want to say, hey, we did this together and look at how much money we made. But I see an easier path with Cardano and Ethereum. So that's what I'm doing, good people. So, hey, leave me a comment if you think I might be on to something. And if you totally disagree, respectfully, leave me a comment there. OK, but I do want you guys to Google what I suggested, what they call your money. They call our money dumb money. And it's because we're emotional traders and we don't do what I'm brave enough to do. And there's a time to abandon the ship and get on a new ship. All right. Abandon the ship and get on to the yacht. All right. So that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. Good people. Hope this helped you out. Hope you have a blessed weekend. See you later.